Yeah, so that's the tremolo. Sounds pretty good, I think. Yeah, I know you love Supros, Doc. So Neil, so your amp modeler crapped out twice in like 10 minutes. You have to unplug it and plug it back in to get rid of static noise. Here's a sign to stop practicing. Dude, well then just practice unplugged, man. I'm sorry to hear you're having issues. What are you going to do? I don't know. Well, I guess I'll just keep playing for you guys. See if anybody jumps in with anything interesting to talk about. Just so you guys know, so this week is actually a really, really big week for me and the family. So my wife and I are about to have another little boy this week. So I'm going to try to get, a lot of content recorded and do a couple more lives before that happens, because then I'll probably be, a little quiet for a few weeks, understandably. But we're super, super duper excited about that. And, I'm trying to get the new course from Scott Sherrard, who's the guitar player for Greg Allman Band. Trying to get that up in the next few days as well. So, if you're signed up for GuitarGate or for the masterclass or anything like that, you'll receive an email notification with some type of link, for some really cheap pricing for that to kind of get it off the ground. And that's what's kind of going on my end. So lots of cool stuff, and just gigging my face off. Just lots and lots of gigs. So that's what's up. That's funny. Kristen Slayer. That I don't have the right stuff set up to do Slayer right now. It's something like that. And then it's that real fast part Anyway, I was lazy. I didn't hook up any of my pedals, and this Supro doesn't have some dirty distortion in it, so that's why that sounds like crap. Anyway, let's see what we have here. So Dave Callahan, good to see you. I'm stuck in a rut playing the same riffs and licks. How can I get out of this rut and progress to where I want to be? Dude, that's the problem with every guitar player, every musician, if you're always playing the same stuff, you get good at that stuff, and you get very comfortable with it, but you always find yourself going to the same licks, going to the same box, going to the same shape as a default, right? And I know it seems obvious, but it just takes work and people don't really do it. But the way to get out of that is to force yourself to play things that are difficult, things that you need work on. For example, if you just have that pattern 4 minor pentatonic shape down, right? And that's your go-to, right, for your rock stuff. And you have all your licks in there. Obviously, you're going to keep defaulting back to your same sounds because that's your comfort zone. That's all you work on. So even if you are doing the same scale shape, or the same scale, if you even try it in a different shape, say one below, and you try to find a lot of the same licks, but in different positions, right, in different places, what you'll do is you'll force your fingers, and your brain, your muscle memory to, you'll abandon the muscle memory that you're accustomed to get those specific sounds that you're used to getting, with those same licks that you're used to playing. And it will broaden you up, and you'll start playing things that you otherwise wouldn't because, you're physically doing something different. So one, try to play stuff that you know in other places on the neck. So if you feel really comfortable in one or two shapes, try to find those same licks and try to get just as comfortable in those two shapes as you are in the other three. There's 5 of everything on guitar. That's the cage system. That's kind of what we teach on Guitar Gate, or at least that's kind of where we start the process of subdividing the neck, right? So that's the first thing you do. Second thing is expose yourself to different kinds of music and different kinds of guitar players, different genres. So again, let's say you are used to playing that blues rock vein, right? And you are very comfortable in, say, pattern 4 and pattern 2 in a minor pentatonic shape. So the first thing you did, right, you're trying to get out of the box is literally find get comfortable in those other shapes, find those licks, right? Now, let's say you try to jump into a country thing, which is very much major based, and you don't have a lot of major licks. But if you know your relative majors and minors, so say A minor is the same scale shape. It contains the same notes as C major. So your fingers would be in the same place, but when you play in a more major context, if you play in that C major context, if you start playing more country style stuff, you'll realize that the licks that you had, even though it's first finger, fourth finger, first, third, whatever, like you're used to in minor, they don't exactly translate because your focus is different, your context is different. So what you want to do is force yourself into different genres and listen and play stuff that you don't, that you're not really good at right now. So if you're a really strong minor blues player, minor pentatonic, spend a lot of time playing over major progressions, right? If you've done all of that, expand a little bit. Try playing over stuff that has 7th chords in it, something a little more jazzier, Steely Dan-ish, like some of the more, Allman Brother type stuff where it, they have a lot of those, jazzier chords, minor 7s, dominant 7s, major 7s, stuff like that, and get a feel about, for playing over those types of sounds. So you really just have to put in the time and force yourself to play things, one, in different places than you're used to, right? So you actually learn the whole neck. Get out of your comfort zone, try to play both major tonalities and minor tonalities, and then once you kind of get that under your belt, listen to different genres and try to play stuff from different genres, jazzier stuff with, using jazz chords, different progressions. Force yourself to play things that you're not good at. It really is that simple. It really, really is that simple. So I hope that's helpful. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, that's the problem with Facebook Live. I can only see 4 comments at a time, and I know I missed a few. So if I'm not responding to yours and you posted something in the last minute or two, just rewrite it and hopefully I'll pick it up. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, Doc, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's practicing your cage stuff in different keys really, really, really helps. For those that aren't familiar with the cage system, it is not the only system to learn how to play the guitar, right? But it is, I would say, the easiest for the most people, which is why they taught it in GIT, where I went, Musicians Institute. It's why it's fairly common amongst all the guitar teachers that I know, with the exception of, predominantly classical teachers, and some, really, really super jazz-focused teachers where that's pretty much all that they do. If they only teach jazz or classical, they pretty much don't really like to start at a shape-based system. But for the rest of us, it seems to be the easiest place to start is to learning a shape-based system. And all of that means is that everything you have on guitar exists in 5 different places. So from the easiest chord to the most complicated scale, there's simply just 5 of everything. So if you know one shape, say if you know a major scale shape, that's in G, and you want to play it in A, just move the whole shape up 2 frets. B. So that's one shape, and there's 4 more, right? That is in contrast to, say, like a piano, where literally you have the natural keys, the white keys, and the accidental keys, the black keys, and they're separate, right? They're literally different colors, they're in different places, and so each specific key has its own specific fingering. So that is beneficial in some ways because you can literally visualize the music theory. It's great for music theory to learn playing on a keyboard, but it makes it so there's 12 different keys. You literally have to learn 12 different scales, 12 different everything for everything. Where on guitar, you can begin by just breaking the neck down in shapes, and that's how you learn the neck. You don't have to learn 12 different keys. You literally just learn 5 shapes, and you are in different positions based on what key you want to play, or what key the song is, or whatever. And we go through all this stuff in all the Guitar Gate lessons. There's a bunch of free stuff on it on GuitarGate.com, which you can go and check out. Doesn't cost you anything. And you can even post a video, and I can review it and give you feedback entirely for free. So I strongly encourage you all to go check it out. But that's the basis of the cage system. That's what Doc was really talking about. And Doc, he says, also try to play along to TV theme songs as you watch. It makes you focus and learn. I've never tried it with TV theme songs. But when I was younger, I would say in middle school and high school, early high school in particular, for like that 6 or 7 year period, the predominant way that I would practice, because this was before, I never had anything to record myself on. I never had a loop pedal when I was, really young. I didn't have a bunch of gear. I would literally just listen to the radio. Local rock station or local country station or whatever it was, classic rock, and go song to song to song to song. Sit there for hours with my guitar and play along with it. And and it's not like you could rewind or stop. So you didn't really get to learn the songs, note for note or front to back, or really get a good feel for the songs. And that wasn't the goal. The goal was to get as much as you could in that 3 or 4 minutes and say, okay, so the first time through, I'm figuring out, all right, what basic key is this in? Is there anything crazy happening, right? Just, where are my bass notes? The next 45 seconds, next verse or whatever, after it goes through, starting to get a little more comfortable, figuring out if this is maybe a major chord, this is a minor chord, what is those sounds? And then for the rest of the song, trying to improvise over it, whether it's trying to pick out